I'm not able to get it that you are there or not. Yes? Hello? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. Chalo. Now let me start. See, now I am presenting the screen, so it is possible that I may not able to enter the people, right? But okay, કોઈનામાંથી અવાજ આવે છે. So please don't make that noise. It's very irritating. Okay, so are you able to see the screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Someone is making too much noise. Can I see who's making the noise? Hello? आवाज बंद किया. Chalo, nice. Now are you able to listen me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now today I'm gonna teach you, like we are gonna cover procedure and macros in 8086. Fine? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have already shared 3 links in your group which you can refer for more details on procedure and macros. Yesterday, what we had seen is jump instruction, and as you know, why jump instructions are important, because jump instructions will change the flow of your program. Yes, what happens when the flow of the program will get changed? Normally every time next instruction will get executed, and how that next instruction will get executed, it is based on instruction pointer. Every time your instruction pointer is pointing to the next instruction to be fetched, so suppose this is my program, then IP will always pointing to the next instruction to be fetched. So based on IP, every time my program will get executed. But when you are having a jump instruction, at that point of time you need to change the flow of your program. So suppose IP is pointing to the next instruction, but it is possible that you want to change the value of that IP. So that's why that instruction is important. Get it? Hello? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Same as jump instruction, there are other stuff also which can change the flow of your program. One is called procedure, one is called macro. Fine. So procedure is also changing the flow of your program. So that's why that is also important. And same is with macro. Now, procedure is same as functions that you have studied in C. So it is nothing but a small function which can perform a similar task when you call it. It is as simple as that. So same kind of function you can create in assembly language also, and that is called procedure here in assembly language. As you can see, it is a reusable. What is the advantage of functions? By the way, you people make functions in your program? Hello, can you answer me? Why we make functions in our program?
Reusability.
Exactly. Suppose you want to perform a factorial of some number, and if you want to make it 100 times, and the code of factorial is suppose 5 lines. If I don't use function, I need to use that 5 lines 100 times. So I need to use 500 lines. Same thing if I make a simple function of 5 lines and I just need to call it with the value that for which I want to find out the factorial. So it can get reusable. So that is the advantage. Fine. Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So please respond. મને સંભળાવ મને ખબર નહીં પડતી કે તમને સંભળાતું છે કે નથી સંભળાતું. So please give response in the background. Okay. So now as same as jump instruction, here also your procedure can be of near procedure. It can be a far procedure. What is near procedure? Near procedure is the one which is in the same segment, right? So if I want to jump from, there is always a function call and there is a function definition. Same way in procedure, you are having a procedure call and actual procedure. So if your procedure call and actual procedure are in same segment, then that is called near procedure. If I need, my procedure call is in one segment and I want to jump in another segment, so if different code segments are used, then it will be a far procedure. Done? Hello.
સર એક વખત સમજાવો ને.
If suppose this is my one segment, fine, and this is my another segment. Okay, here is my function, suppose function call, or you can say procedure call. So in that case, if I want to jump here only, then this is called near jump. But if call instruction is here and I want to jump here in another segment, then this will be a far jump. Clear? One segment is of 64 KB in 8086. We are having total 4 segments available. Remember? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I am using some extra segment also, some of my code is so big that it occupies 64 KB line and my function is written in another segment, then I need to jump from this segment to this segment. Then in this case, this is called far jump. But it is possible that in 64 KB only I want to jump in similar part, then it will be a near jump. Sorry, a near procedure. Get it? Same as yesterday, it is same. If you are in a same segment, then you need to use 16-bit register jump, then it is just near jump. Here it is a near procedure. Same way, I need to change my code segment and 16-bit data, then it will be a far jump or far procedure. Done? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Should we go further? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, sorry, how to define a procedure? So, if you want to define a procedure, right, then you are having PROC directive and NP directive. We have already studied assembler directives. So, these are the assembler directives. So, whenever you are writing PROC keyword and whenever you are writing NP keyword, your assembler automatically knows that this is about procedure and here some procedure is written. So, these are the directives that you can use. Another directives or another instructions are call instruction and return instruction. As you all know that when you are writing function, the last statement of your function is return statement. So it will return something. If it is not written anything, it will be return 0. Fine. So here in case of RET statement, your function, like what your procedure, gets returned to this original place. Okay, this much thing is clear. We are having 4 things in mind: PROC, sorry, we are having PROC assembler directive, we are having AND P directive, we are having call instruction, and we are having return instruction. So these are the 4 things that we can use to define our procedure. Fine. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now call instruction. So there are 2 types of call, as you can see here: near call, it is also called intra segment call, and far call, inter segment call. So if you call something and the call is going to the another segment, it is inter segment or far call. The procedure that you have written within a segment, then it is a near call or near segment, intra segment, right? So this is a near procedure, this will be a far procedure. Same keywords. Fine. Hello. Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now concentrate here. Suppose this is my program. Here I am having one function. Okay, I have written this function. My function, this is my function call. And original function definition I have written here. And this is my return statement. This is in C program. Suppose this is in line number 0, 1, 2, this is line number 3, 4, 5, 6. And my actual code is on line number 100 to 150. Suppose this is the setup. So what happens? Your compiler go on line number 0, 1, 2. When it find out there is a line number 3, it will jump to line number 100, execute line number 100 to line number 150, and come back on location number 4. Yes? Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is what happens when you are doing a normal function call. Yes? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
નોર્મલ ફંક્શનને જ્યારે પણ કોલ કરે ને ત્યારે ફંક્શન કોલમાં શું થાય, તમારો ફંક્શન કોલ આવે એટલે તમારો પ્રોગ્રામનો ફ્લો ફંક્શન પર જાય, ફંક્શન એક્ઝિક્યુટ કરે અને ઇટ કેન ગેટ બેક ટુ ધી નેક્સ્ટ લાઇન વેર યુ હેવ લેફ્ટ ઓફ, રાઈટ? Now, in the background, how your compiler will get to know that I need to go to location number 100 and I need to come back on location number 4? Can you tell me? Anyone knows? in C program, if you have written a program like this, how your compiler will get to know that after this call function, I need to go to location number 100, and when I need to come back, I need to come back on location number 4. How your compiler knows that? Yes, can you tell me? Hello? 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 Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ओके, तो आपको मालूम है ये कैसे होता है? लाइक हाउ योर कंपाइलर विल गेट टू नो दैट मुझे यहाँ जंप करना है, मुझे यहाँ वापस आना है. हाउ योर कंपाइलर विल फाइंड इट आउट? Normally in the background it use stack. Whenever you are having a procedure, in the background you are having using a stack, and stack is the best example of usage is a procedure. Normally whenever you are having a procedure, the address is stored in the symbol table, so it fetch the value of the location where you want to jump, right? It fetch the value where you want to jump, and whatever is the value of IP instruction pointer, it will push into the stack. So currently when my call instruction is getting executed, my IP will be pointing on 4. So my 4 will get stored here. And whenever that return instruction comes, my compiler comes into the stack and again fetch the value, whatever we have stored IP. So we have fetched that IP 04 and we can resume our program from 04. So whenever you are having a near call, as you can see here, SP is a stack pointer. So stack pointer will get degraded by 2, SP minus 2. You go 2 location down, store onto the stack. You store your IP into the stack. Why 2 location down? Because each location is of 8 bit. Our IP is of 16 bit. So I want to store 16 bit location. So if I want to store 16 bit, I need to go 2 location down. So stack pointer, if this is my stack which is pointing on the top SP, okay, then it will go 2 location down, so it will pointing over here now, and it will store the value of IP, suppose 0003. It will get stored. Now SP is again pointing over here, and when you come back, starting address of the procedure, you need to replace your IP now with the new value, and you can jump there. This is what you are supposed to do every time when you are having a near call. Get it? Hello? Are you awake?
Yes, sir.
સમજ પડે છે શું કહું છું? What I'm trying to explain is what happens in the background. This all thing is not going to do by you people. This is already done in the background. You just need to understand what happens in the background, how they have implemented procedure and functions, right? So for that, what they do, every time whenever you are having a function call, you need to store the value of IP onto stack and go to the location of your function. Once you go there, once the return statement comes, you need to come back, pop the value from the stack, because whatever you have stored on the stack, it will be on top and it will work as LIFO, right? Last in, first out. So whatever value you will get, that will be the value that you have stored on the stack. Get that value, that is the value of IP from which location you want to resume your execution of main program. That is how your normal call instruction and return instruction works. Normal function works. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
समझ पड़ी? समझ पड़ी? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What I'm trying to tell you is simple. Forget about all these things. સિમ્પલ એવું છે કે જ્યારે પણ ફંક્શન કોલ થાય તમારે બે કામ કરવા પડે. બરાબર? કયા બે કામ કરવા પડે? ફર્સ્ટ, તમારે તમારા આઈપી ની વેલ્યુ સ્ટેકમાં સ્ટોર કરવી પડે અને તમારે જે લોકેશન પર જવું છે એ લોકેશનના આઈપી ની વેલ્યુ ફેચ કરવી પડે. This is the two things that you are supposed to do every time. And when your function gets over, you need to fetch the value of IP from the stack and you can resume your work. Done? Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Sir.
Okay, now next. This is for normal near jump. So it is okay. But what if your jump is far? So what we are discussing is, suppose this is my one segment, this is my another segment. So if I want to jump in same segment and everything, then I need to store only 16-bit data in stack, and I can get my IP value. How to calculate physical address? CS colon IP. CS is called base address. IP is my offset. Suppose CS is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. IP is equal to 0001. Then how to calculate physical address? 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to add 0. This is called hardwired 0. Yes, this is your hardwired 0. You need to add your 0001 here. You will get the answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This is my physical address. This is how you are accessing your physical address memory in 8086. This thing we have studied in our initial lectures, if you remember, right? So if you are in the same segment, you just need to give the value of IP. Why? Because your CS will always remain same. So we don't need to tell our assembler that what our CS is. So this is fine. But what if my CS will also get changed? So in that case, I need to tell my assembler that which one is my new CS, because this is my one CS and this will be my another code segment, and the address of this CS and this CS is different. So in that case, if it is a far jump, as you can see here, my stack pointer will pointing, suppose currently here, it will go to location down here and store the content on stack. So CS1, CS2, new code segment, the original code segment data will get stored. Then stack pointer goes down to more points. Okay, so it will go down. Okay, it will actually work in reverse manner. So it will actually come here. Then your IP content will store. So IP part 1, IP part 2, 16-bit data will get stored. Then you fetch the new CS, new IP, you go there, and when you come back, you need to pull up this, pop this all data, and you can find out your original address again. So this is same as near procedure. The only difference is in near procedure, you don't need to care about CS code segment, but when it is a far procedure, you need to take care about CS also. So in far procedure, CS is also pushed into stack, while in near procedure, only IP is stored onto the stack. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, good. So the operation is written over here. You can read it once. The same thing that we have explained is written, and I have sent this document to all of you. Fine. So you can go through this and you can look how it works. Now, there are two more terms: recursive procedure and reentrant procedure. Okay. So this is my recursive procedure. Okay, now what is recursive procedure? A factorial is a recursive function. You can call the same function again. It is called recursion. Yes? So if functioning calling itself again, it is called recursion. Fine?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
So
Yes,
how
sir.
your factorial works? Suppose I want to find out the factorial of 4. I pass the factorial of 4. Then it find the factorial of 3. Then it find the factorial of 2. Then it find the factorial of 1. And the answer of 1 we know. Terminating condition we know. If 1 factorial is there, answer is 1. So it returns. Then again it returns. And finally you will have your answer of 4 factorial. Fine? So same way, if this is my main program, okay, and I am having a recursive procedure, then call factorial comes, I can go to factorial location, right? Fourth factorial, suppose 3 factorial, again I execute some line, again factorial 3 comes, again factorial 2 comes, again, and when I got the answer of last condition, it will get returned to my previous call. So I am coming here. Here it will replace the answer, you will get another answer. Again it will come here, you will get replace the answer, and finally you are having the answer of 3 factorial, you can come here and you can finish your program. This is how your normal recursive procedure works. And every time, as you know, what happens, suppose this is my stack, Okay, sorry. So this is my stack. So here I will push the value of IP. So this is the IP of this. Again on two location I will store the IP of this. So here IP again getting stored, but currently of this part. Again my IP will be stored here, but this is for this part. Fine. And when I come back, when this return instructions come, I pop the value, so topmost part will get removed, so this will get removed, so I will come here. Okay, when here I come here, I pop the value, so I can fetch this value and I will come here. And when I come here, return statement comes, and because of this pop procedure, these are the on top of stack, so this will get out and you can come here again. So this is how your recursive procedure works, and that's why last in first out last in first out concept is very important. That's why stack is used in the background. So this is the best example where your stack is used. Done?
Yes, sir.
समझ पड़ी?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Same way as recursive procedure, we are having re-entrant procedure. Okay, this is the example of re-entrant procedure. Now, what is the difference between recursive procedure and re-entrant procedure? As the name suggests, re-enter. The procedure is re-entering to itself. It's called re-entrant procedure. So concentrate. If this is my main program, I call one function. Function name is multiply. So I go to this multiply procedure, execute it. Now multiply procedure is calling some more function. Suppose interrupt. Some interrupt is there. So I am calling that interrupt one more function. So I am going here. But this interrupt again calling multiply procedure. Get it? Hello?
સર ફરીથી સમજાવો ને.
હા. ઓકે. પહેલા તો છે ને રિકર્ઝનમાં શું થતું હતું? This is my main program, new function call, new program, new function call, new program, new function call. This will get over, come here, here, come here, come finish it, come here, finish it. This is the flow of your recursion. Yes? Yes?
યસ સર.
Now, recursionમાં શું થતું હતું? Every time you are calling a function with different values. Fine? Now assume that you are having a function called XYZ and you are having a function called ABC. Okay, and this is my main program. So from main program, I am calling function XYZ. So right now I am executing function XYZ. At this location, I am calling function ABC from this. So my ABC function will get called. Now in ABC function, I am again having a call to XYZ function. So what happens? જે ફંક્શને મને કોલ કર્યો, હું હવે એ જ ફંક્શનને પાછો કોલ કરું છું. બીજું ફંક્શન પણ એને જ કોલ કરે. This is called re-entrant. Get it? So now because here it is a call to XYZ, so my transfer goes to XYZ function like this. I will execute this time this full function. I will return to my original location here. I will finish this, and the XYZ function is called because of the ABC function. So now I will come back to ABC function again. So I entered ABC function twice. Get it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
ખબર પડી?
સર
હા.
સર એટલે પહેલા XYZ ફંક્શન કોલ થશે, પછી ABC ફંક્શન અને પછી પાછું XYZ ફંક્શન.
હા, પણ જ્યારે બીજી વાર XYZ ફંક્શન કોલ થશે ત્યારે આખું એક્ઝિક્યુટ થઈ જશે ABC ને કોલ કર્યા વગર.
ઓકે સર.
અને પછી એ કેમ કોલ થશે? બીકોઝ એને XYZ એ કોલ કરેલું હતું, બરાબર?
હા.
અને પછી XYZ ફંક્શન પતશે, પછી પાછું અહીંયા આવશે, સોરી ABC ફંક્શન પતશે અને પાછો રિટર્ન થશે XYZ ઉપર. I will explain you again with a blank diagram. Let me draw. Right? From scratch. Let's start. Okay. So this is my main program. Fine. Done. Here I am having a call to XYZ. So I will go here. Right? This is my XYZ function. I am executing my XYZ function. Here I am having a call to ABC function. Possible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now, because I am having a call to ABC function, I go to ABC function here. Fine. And ABC function will get executed. Now, in ABC function, you are having a call to XYZ again. Now, because here you are having a call to XYZ again, you are going to XYZ function again from this location. Get it?
Yes, sir.
This is the call from ABC function. Keep in mind, this is the call from ABC function. So this time I execute this full program XYZ, finish it, and my control come back to here because I have called from this line. Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Now my ABC function got the answer, so it will get completed. So here my ABC get completed, and ABC function we have called from XYZ itself. So once it get completed, we'll come back here again. Done. Once we come back here, we'll finish our XYZ function also. Once we complete our XYZ function, we'll come back here in our main program, and then our main program will resume, and here it will get ended. Get it? Yes.
સર એબીસી ફંક્શન ક્યારે ઓવર થશે?
ABC function છે ને તે XYZ ABC XYZ નો જેવો રિસ્પોન્સ આવશે once we get the response from ABC function, sorry, XYZ function, right? Here it will get over.
યસ સર.
Okay, we'll draw it again with numbering system so you can get it better. Fine.
યસ સર.
This is my first step. Okay, here I am having, this is my main program. Now here I am having a call to XYZ, so it will go to location XYZ. This is my number 2, this is my XYZ. Done. Then I execute my XYZ, so this is my third number. Here I am having a ABC call, right? So because of the ABC call, it will go on procedure ABC. So this is my fourth number. Yes, yes.
યસ સર.
Yes,
Then
sir.
then I execute my ABC function, so that will be my fifth step. But from this I am having a call to XYZ again. Yes, yes.
યસ સર.
Yes, sir.
So it will go to XYZ function from this here. This is my sixth step. Yes.
યસ સર.
Now once I reach to XYZ, I will finish my full XYZ in a single stroke. So this is full, is my number 7. Done. Yes.
યસ સર.
And this will get returned to ABC. So here I will get returned to ABC. This is my step number 8. Complete.
યસ સર.
Now I will finish my ABC function fully because I got my answer. So here this is step number 9, and ABC got RET, but this return will be on XYZ. Yes.
યસ સર.
કારણ કે ABC ક્યાંથી કોલ થયેલો હતો? XYZ માંથી, right? So this is the return to my XYZ. Now I will come back to my, sorry, I will come back to my ABC again. This is my 10 number step. Yes. Yes.
યસ સર.
Now I will finish my this function here. Yes. So this is my step number 11. Done. Done. And here now it is get ended, but it is called through main function. So I will return to main. Done. So I will come back now here. Yes, this is my step number 12, and now I will finish my main program also, and this is my step number 13. Done. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Clear? So this is your re-entrant procedure. Function calling itself and returning, like entering into the same function twice. One from another function. XYZ માં આપણે એકવાર એન્ટ્રી લીધી મેઇન માંથી અને એકવાર આપણે એન્ટ્રી લીધી ABC માંથી. Done? Hello.
યસ સર.
Okay, so this is your re-entrant procedure. Now let me come back. So this is about procedure, far call, near call, basic reentrant procedure, recursive procedure, and the final topic is macro. Now, what is the difference between normal procedure and macro? Can you tell me? This is how you can define macro. Macro name, macro, and M. If you want to define procedure, then syntax was given initially. What is the syntax of procedure? I think that it was not given, right? Okay, that will see the practical demonstration. Same way, like this, you can write down your procedure also. PROC, near or far, you need to write down. And what is the name of procedure? Suppose addition. So this is my procedure name. When it gets ended, you need to write down and P. એની ઉપર તમારે લખવાનું RET. So your this is the syntax of your procedure. Here you can write down your code. If you want to call this procedure, CALL add. So your procedure will get called. Same way as procedure, you can define macro also. Here you are having a macro. If you want to define macro, macro is the assembler directive. Same way, if you want to end the macro, endm is the directive. Now, can you tell me what is the difference between procedure and macro? Anyone? In normal C also, what is the difference between procedure and macro?
The macro નથી ખબર.
Actually, we have discussed this thing, if you remember. When you write down has define PI 3.14 is actually a macro,
Yes, sir.
right? And when you write down function call, then it is a normal function, is your normal function. Now, what is the difference? When you define a normal procedure, right, at that time you need to go to that procedure, and every time you need to call this value, right? So let me show you what happens in the background. Fine. In macro and procedure, both are doing the same thing, but the way they are doing it is different. So let's see. Suppose these are my program code. I am calling one function add. Okay, add is of suppose 10 line. Okay, here I am having 10 lines. Fine. So what happens if it is a normal function? In this case, every time this call comes, I can go here, execute these lines, and come back here. Fine. Every time I need to fetch the value of add, where it is stored, I need to store the value of IP, and every time when I come back, I need to fetch the value of IP. This is what I have to do when it is a function. Done? Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When it is a normal function, this is the thing that you are supposed to do every time. So if I am having a 100 function calls, I need to do this above things 100 times. Fine? Yes? Hello? Hello?
સર એક વખત સમજાવો.
Okay. Suppose if this is my program, right? So when add function comes, suppose add છે હમણાં currently 10મી લાઈન પર, બરાબર? add function લખેલું છે suppose 100 નંબરની લાઈન પર, અને 10 લાઈન છે, 110 પર પત્તું છે, બરાબર? તો જ્યારે પણ add function આવશે, I need to do these three tasks, 1, 2 and 3. First, fetch the value of add. So I need to fetch the value of add 100, right? તો મને ખબર પડે કે મારે જમ્પ ક્યાં કરવાનો છે. Second, I need to store the value 11 because મારે પાછું ક્યાં આવવાનું છે 11 નંબરની લાઈન પર. અને ત્રીજું, જેવું આ ફંક્શન અહીંયા પતે 110મી લાઈન પર, I need to fetch this value 11 again so that I can come to know that I need to come back here and I need to resume. Done?
Yes, sir.
Suppose now on line number 18, again I am having a function called add. So again, my next line will be on 19. So again, I need to do these three tasks again. When I'm executing line number 18, I need to first check where I want to jump on location 100. Second, where I want to come back on location 19. Third, when my 110 line will get executed, I need to fetch the value of 19 again and I need to come back. So every time you are having a function call, you need to do these three tasks rigorously. Get it? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So if I am having 100 this kind of call, I need to do 300 different activities every time. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And because of this, this will take time, so it will be a slower process, right? તમારે ડેટા ફેચ કરવામાં એને પુશ કરવામાં ટાઈમ જોઈએ, એટલે it is a time requiring process, so it is little bit slower. Fine. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now instead of this, what your macro does, if the same program is there, add is here, okay, next line is there, add is here, next line is there. I have defined a macro add and it contains 10 lines. So what happens, as I already told you, macro is processed by your macro processor, right, in advance. So when you pass this program to your assembler on a first shot, what it do, it will replace this add function. Actually it is a macro, so this add macro will be replaced with these 10 lines. So now this is line number 1 2 3, add is on 4 5 6 7, add is on 8 9 10. Suppose these are my lines, then what happens, after your first pass 1 2 3, this line number 4 is replaced with 10 lines of add, so it will get replaced. So here I am having a 10 lines. So now on line number 13, I am having this line number 5 6 and 7, so 13 14 17. On line number 18, again this 10 line will get replaced. So what happens is, now initially my program is of suppose 10 lines, now it is becoming of 30 lines, because the lines of macro is added in my program. समझ पड़ी? हेलो.
Sir, 4 પછી 13 14 કઈ રીતે?
So આ 4 નંબર પર add function, add નો call હતો.
હા.
On line number 4 you are having a macro called add, right?
Yes, sir.
So instead of calling it, it will simply replace these 10 lines of macro here. Here your 10 line will get replaced. ત્રણ ભાઈ આજે 10 લાઈન અહીંયા લખેલી હતી તે અહીંયા બેઠી રિપ્લેસ થઈ જાય. સમજ પડી?
ઓકે સર.
હા, એટલે હવે જે નેક્સ્ટ લાઈન જે 4 નંબર પર કે 5 નંબર પર ચાલુ થતી તે હવે 13 નંબર પર ચાલુ થશે, એની પછી ચાલુ થશે, કહેવાનો મતલબ સમજ
હા,
પડી?
ઓકે સર.
એટલે initially if my code is of suppose 100 lines and if I call add macro twice, તો એની 20 લાઈન આમાં એડ થઈ જાય, 10 ગુણ્યા 2. Done. So now my code is of 120 lines, so I need to use more memory. Fine.
Yes, sir.
But the advantage is already my line is shifted here, so મારે IP ને કશે fetch નથી કરવાનો, કશે store નથી કરવાનો. I just need to execute my next line. Simple. Get it? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
advantage is now I don't need to do this procedure which I was doing well when it is a function. I don't need to now store the value, fetch the value, nothing. I don't need to do this. I simply need to execute all my lines in sequence. So that will be the advantage of macro. So my processing will get faster. Yes? Yes?
Yes, sir.
But what is the disadvantage? The disadvantage is you need to occupy more memory because it will get replaced every time. So if I am having a 10 function call, I need to replace it 10 times. Get it? So I need to waste my more memory. So that is the disadvantage. So based on your requirement and based on your machine, you can decide you want to go for macro or you want to go for procedure. Done? Yes? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is it for today's session. What we have covered is we have covered macro, we have covered procedure. Okay. Now in lab session, you are supposed to prepare a 2 instruction procedure and you need to call it. So search Google, try to prepare a small procedure, call it and try to run it. Are you able to make procedure or not? That you are supposed to check. Fine. Hello.
Yes, sir.
You need to write down a small program of procedure. Fine. This is what you're supposed to do in your lab time. Fine. Hello. Done. તો બધાને ખબર પડી? Hello. હા
નિયરેસ્ટ નું બનાવવાનું કે ફેડ નું બનાવવાનું?
near we are not going to use any extra segment, only near procedure in the
ઓકે
same
સર.
code. Okay, chalo, we'll hope that you will make it nice program soon, short program, and show it to me. Fine, this is it for today's session. Now see you tomorrow. Bye bye.